Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, September 20th. Another movie day. And last week on movie day, I came across an issue. Because my resolution for the year is to watch all the movies on this shelf. Right here. And I'm down to 3. And I couldn't get myself to watch one of them because it sounded boring. And I didn't want to waste my time doing it. But I should clarify, because the time wasted is not the time to watch the movie. For example, one of the movies on this shelf we'll pull out is Forrest Gump. I mean, it's a known movie. Like, I've never seen it, and I'm not particularly confident that I'll like it. But I own it, and I probably own it because it's a movie that, you know, winner of 6 Academy Awards. Like, it's got some awards. It's supposed to be good, but I don't know that it's going to be for me. It's estimated 2.5 hours. It's not that 2.5 hours, really, that I'm like, am I gonna waste? That's whatever, an evening, half of an evening, something like that, to give a movie a shot. That I can do. It's the bonus features here. There are 2 commentaries. Well, that's an extra 5 hours. There's a second disc that has Through the Eyes of Forrest Gump documentary, Magic of Makeup, Through the Ears of Forrest Gump sound design, Building the World of Gump production design, Seeing is Believing, a love in visual effects, and screen tests, as well as photo gallery and theatrical trailers. Those 2 I probably wouldn't watch. But the rest are like documentaries and stuff for making the movie. So that's probably another 2 to 4 hours. So we're looking at 10 plus hours that I'd be giving up for this. Because on this shelf, every one of the movies that is pulled forward I have watched. All of the bonus features on. Beyond that, probably 3/4 of the movies that are not pulled forward I have watched the bonus features on. The others, I have never seen the movie since I bought it. If I have watched the movie, I watched the bonus features. That's how I've done it. That's how I've done it since I was in high school. So that's how I've done it that's how I've done it for more than half of my life. Since I really started going with I'm gonna collect DVDs. That is how it's worked. You watch the movie, you watch the bonus features. And now, I've bumped into, I don't want to watch the movie because I don't know that like I said, I'm not confident that I'm going to like the movie. Ultimately, if I like the movie, then I'll probably want to watch the bonus features anyways. That's why I got that habit started, is because I usually watch movies that I'm pretty confident that I'll like. I can usually watch a trailer and be fairly confident that I'll like a movie. And if that's the case, I like learning more about it. But having to spend an extra 8 or whatever hours on something, if I already don't care, I couldn't get past. I'm like, do I really do that? Is that how I waste my time? I don't want to do that. Well, I've got to work with me, because I am a creature of habit, and so I can't just drop something like that. Something like half of my life habit pattern. I can't just drop that. So over the week since that, I'm trying to figure out, am I gonna fail the resolution for this? I have come up with a solution that really works with the way my brain works. So I've watched the movie, I've watched the bonus features. Well, how do we differentiate that? Well, simple. I made this little card here. It's a little note card, and I wrote on it, skipped the bonus features. So all I really have to do to make my brain work with this is take the movie, take the case, and I can just put right in the front here a little card. And it just now would just say skip the bonus features. Isn't that great? See, that's a great way to say that's for later. I don't have to do those now. I can put that off for later. And it's stupid, but it's how my brain works. Because obviously, like I said, there's about a quarter of the movies that aren't pulled forward that I've that I haven't watched because I've not watched the bonus features yet, so I've not gone through all that. So really, this is just a way to watch the movie portion, and we'll do the bonus features at a hypothetical later point. I will point out some of the movies up there I've also had for 10 or more years that I've never seen, that I've owned them. This may be one of them. So that's just working with how my brain works, so that I can watch the movie and I don't have to. All I'm saying is I'm going to spend the 2.5 hours to check out the movie, so I can find out if I even do like it. Probably not. But hey, it won a lot of awards, so maybe I will. Who knows? So today I have found a way to get myself to watch Forrest Gump. And I would give Forrest Gump a 5.6 out of 10. And admittedly, that's better than I expected before seeing it. From the back of the box, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Forrest Gump is the movie triumph that became a phenomenon. Tom Hanks gives an astonishing performance as Forrest, an everyman whose simple innocence comes to embody a generation. The winner of 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Robert Zemeckis, and Best Actor, Tom Hanks. That's Forrest Gump. Some of the music was cool. Some of the effects, like the shots where they inserted Forrest into like historical footage, that was cool. And in the end, it did make me cry, so I appreciate that. So this movie is, whatever. Good things can happen, they'll still turn out bad. Bad things can happen, they're not as bad as you think. It's a story of Forrest. Stupid is as stupid does. Who doesn't quite comprehend what's going on. But he really just has it out for his childhood crush, Jenny. And as she goes through her life, trying to figure out who or what she is after having a monstrous childhood. She ends up suicidal, addicted to drugs, and in and out of Forrest's life. Meanwhile, he keeps himself busy. With football, because, he can run. And then Vietnam. Gets involved in that. Does ping pong. He does shrimping. Gets himself a shrimp boat. And just runs for a few years. If that seems like a random, arbitrary list of things, I think so too. Along the way, of course, there's Ginny, who he's always quite in love with, in his own innocent way. For a long time, she doesn't know what that is. So Bubba, he teaches them about shrimping. There's Lieutenant Dan, who, because I know from the Weird Al song Gump, I know like the basic, his buddy Bubba is a shrimp-loving man. His friend with no legs, they call Lieutenant Dan. His girlfriend Jenny is sort of a slut. Went to the White House, showed LBJ his butt. So, he went to the White House a few times. Had awkward interactions with several presidents. again, that goes into that putting him into historical footage. Those were just amusing. It's like, huh, I don't think he was really there. But I know Lieutenant Dan loses his leg, so when we meet him and he makes all the jokes about, or all of the comments about how you got to take care of your feet, and it's comedy, but it's comedy that, like, when the movie was new on the first viewing, you wouldn't catch. It's literally second viewing comedy, or in my case, things have been spoiled because this is an old movie comedy. No. Forrest is innocent. He wants the girl regardless of how much she is not a good person to be in a relationship with anybody. With how messed up she is. And she knows it. So she keeps trying to resist that. I'm sure early on it was something about her knowing the kind of person he is, and she doesn't want to be involved with him, but by the end, when she's leaving, it's definitely knowing that she's a bad fit for him. But once she's a mother, has his kid, I guess a few years of that settle her down and finally willing to have a commitment. Then she dies, because, you know, sadness. Because even when finally the good thing happens that he's been going for the whole movie, and he's been putting up with everything for, and he finally gets what he wants, it's taken from him. Again, made me cry. It was a movie. It was a story. Was a piece of life. If it didn't have 6 Academy Awards, and it wasn't something that, like, growing up, it was just a thing that I'd heard of, that I'd known of, because I guess of the, whatever they call it, that it became a phenomenon. If it didn't have the expectations set for it by all of its history, I might never have given it a shot to watch it in the first place, but if I did, I probably would have liked it more. But because of the pedestal that it's set upon, I'm just like, it does not live up to that. It doesn't live up to that. And I've seen jokes on like Facebook, of course, with Weird Al's song about Jenny being a slut, and that's like the joke. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that her suicidal drug addict part of her personality is probably a lot bigger concern than that. As I watch through this, and I'm like, she is a mess. And admittedly, with her history, with her background, yeah, no, she has every right to be a mess. In general, in the end, from the little bit of it that we get, it seems that they were both better parents than the parents they had. Both better, I suppose, than their fathers, I'll put it that way. Forrest very much loved his mother. But his father ran out. Her father was abusive. Yeah, it was Forrest Gump. It was put together a little strangely. It's him telling a story. It's him sitting on the bench, that iconic image, telling his story. And in the end of it, he goes away. And you cut back to him with whoever is listening at the moment. And one of the things, watching the movie, that it makes me think of, and that most likely was inspired by this kind of thing, is Joe Dirt. And now that's a comedy. That's a fun movie to watch. This is Forrest Gump. It was alright. It doesn't live up to the hype. The 2.5 hours that it took to watch just the movie without the bonus features, it was at least worth that. And again, I came up with a solution. I don't have to watch the bonus features if I label them. Because I'm weird. And there's ways that you do things. There's ways that I do things. And I'm set in stone, and that's how I do it. So I gotta work with me. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for watching. Join me as my journey continues.